I am celebrating you today, and I'll be celebrating you and myself a little bit more tomorrow as we round into the 21-day intention. And it doesn't matter if you haven't completed it or if you've just done here and there, because you have kept some thoughts on what are you doing in your life? What are you wanting? What's your intention? How can you stay focused? And sometimes the exercise of just trying to do something consistently is the exercise, right? That is the challenge. So I celebrate you for just showing up. And remember, the more we can celebrate the things that we do in our life, even if it was like, I did a class that day, I walked this day, I worked out hard this day, or I gave myself a break to relax this day, that means we are aware of what we need and that deeper sense of who we are in the world and what's important to us. So I'm sending you a picture of something that I want you to think about, which is, um, as if you heard yesterday's intention, I took some space for myself. And when I was walking through the woods, the more I looked, the more I saw. And that's symbolic, right? The more we take time to observe, the more we see. And even when we're trying to be consistent and in our challenges of making our life better, the more that we stop for a second and notice what's around us, the more we see. So I sent you a picture of this frog, and it took me a really long time to see it. It was like my eyes couldn't acclimate to the shape. What is this shape that I'm seeing? It just looks like a rock to me. But eventually, and maybe you can look at it, I saw with, you know, there was reflections of the trees above onto the water, and then just stuff in the water that made it kind of murky so I couldn't see. But there's a big frog right there with, and he stayed so quiet as I and stayed put as I was like walking around and trying to figure out where he was and could I see him. I sort of saw him, but not really, not enough to even take a photo. And so remember, like sometimes we have to adjust our perception, right? We have to try to see if something's there that we're wanting it to be there and go with that. And I don't know if you can grasp that concept, but sometimes we actually need to see what we want to see in the world, and then we will find it. Um, so what do you want to see in your world? What are the changes? What's the growth? Um, what's the positivity? Maybe you need to really look hard and see if it's there, because I bet it is. And maybe it's just taking time to actually see it, to let it form, to let it have a shape. So that's my thoughts for you today. And I will be back here tomorrow celebrating you.